Shalom Israel. Y'all about to see why I have shades on in a second if you don't already see it, But I don't know why I keep addressing you assholes out there that even ask that question. But what I want to talk about in the spirit is the concept of smite the shepherd and the sheep shall scatter. Because a lot of times, like when you go out in society now, you see a lot of Israelite camps, throwing around words like hoe, whore, faggot, which, to be honest with y'all, I'm not arguing to be soft on sin. Things that are wrong are wrong. But I think that a lot of us should grow to the level of maturity to realize that a lot of the people that are homosexual, a lot of the women that are promiscuous, I think that we need to realize that it's not a personal, it's not like whatchamacallit, it's partially because they are wicked, and another part of it is also because we have to understand that if society deems something acceptable, right, then we have to understand people that were raised, because we're talking about a generation of people, right, and I'm talking about Israel, that a lot of us didn't have parents. The Wada Yahweh Shem Yahushai, that I had both parents. But a lot of our people did not have both parents. Some of our people don't have any parents. Some of our people, grandparents are the parents. And it's not even just one generation. This goes back a few generations. And a lot of us simply, and the way this world is, we're striving, we're getting further away from the concept of a higher power, of a God that believes in judge. Like, you actually have people that say there is nothing wrong with these things. If you grow up in a society that says it's okay to eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, then for somebody like me to not eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster is considered a choice. I can choose to, I can choose not to. Officially, if I was to Lord forbid, eat a damn pork chop right now, there are no legal consequences. The consequences are spiritual, and my stomach would probably be fucked up. But there's no legal situation in place that would stone me or penalize me for eating a pork chop. And that's why you have people people overseas that have stricter laws dealing with diets, dealing with the way a man and woman should conduct themselves in public, dealing with adultery. In Brazil, I saw a video where a woman got killed for being an adulteress. In Saudi Arabia, they'll stone a woman for disrespecting their husband. And these are things that are societally part of, what is the way society raised them. Here in America, for women, it's actually normal for a woman to disrespect her husband. Here in America, it's normal to be to say it's nothing wrong with being a sodomite. Here in America, it's normal for a woman to sleep around with 100 different men, even if she married. I know a female that calls herself polyamorous, and her husband knows that shit. I think that's one of the technicalities of polyamorous is. Like, the man actually, it's an arrangement that both parties consent to. So these are things that only exist in a society that is separated itself from God. And the reason why I say these things are not to tell y'all brothers out there to take it easy on sodomites, take it easy on adulteresses and women dressing in revealing fashions. Still rebuke them, but understand that these are the things that people grew up watching. These are the things like, the young generation now, the people that are becoming adults as we speak, all they see is sex on TV and everywhere. So if a woman is promiscuous, you have to understand that's all she knows. So to belittle her is kind of, if anything, pushing her away from the Lord. You have to at least tell them that there's a rule that they're breaking before you condemn them for breaking a rule. Because if society, like, I swear to you, I've seen so many heterosexual people say some form of disagreement with homosexuality or the LGBT community and have to feel compelled to say, but there's nothing wrong with it, knowing in their heart that there is something wrong with it, knowing that they don't mean that shit. I saw the game say, oh, I'm not saying I have a problem with homosexuals, but they run the music industry. This society trains heterosexual people to express agreement with the LGBTQ community. Because if Game wouldn't have did that, he would have been canceled. A lot of people that were potential fans would have said, F you, my cousin's gay, or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the type of world we're living in. So in a world where people that are heterosexual are afraid to speak anything negative about homosexuality or even promiscuity or anything like that, you're going to have a generation of people that's going to grow up and think all of that shit is normal, all of that shit is okay. So now here's the deal. You're dealing with people that are born into this society that allows it, and from a young child, from their babies, their parents don't tell them things that they can't do, because then parents are afraid of causing anxiety and depression in a child. So then what happens is every girl's going to experiment with sex, even if it's inappropriate. Like, not every girl, I'd say, but a lot of girls are going to experiment and be okay with having multiple sex partners, having girlfriends. I know chicks that have tried chicks and didn't like it. So ultimately, what happens is, because society says try it, or you can try it and there's nothing wrong with it if you do, and then if you don't realize it's for you, then move on. No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. I don't see too many men saying that I used to be that way and I'm not that way no more. Women that become promiscuous, they can't take back all the sexual partners that they had. They can't erase sexual partners. They can't erase the fact that their body is now used to different souls coming inside of them, so to speak. Because a woman's body actually changes every time she has a new sex partner. It actually modifies itself to bond with the DNA of the man who had sex with her. But yeah, it just it's this society. We have to go after the real big fish. And that's why, Chief Gabar used to go heavy at the elites. Because why go at the person whose brain has been made or influenced to think certain things are normal? Why don't we go after the influencer in our rebukes? If you go after gay people as far as rebuking them and telling them what they're doing is wrong, you're missing the opportunity to really tell a human being, listen, you've been taught wrong. Because they don't know that they've been taught wrong. And again, I am in no way, shape, or form telling you to not rebuke the sinners. But what I'm trying to say, I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, is we have to first, before we can tell a homosexual, listen, what you're doing is wrong, we have to first show them that what they're doing is wrong according to oh no, wait, that's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm actually trying to say is different. Before we hold a human being to a spiritual standard that we follow, we have to first teach them and let them know that the standard that you're going according to is wrong. A person who has been raised into a society that condones homosexuality, and everything, their parents, school, TV, everything has been tailored to them receiving a message saying, LGBT is normal. What winds up happening to that person is, if they fall into the trap and actually become LGBTQ, what happens is, when they hear us go out there and condemn them the way we condemn them, they're looking at it like we're wrong. They don't see that, they don't know that what they're doing is actually wrong. So what I'm saying to y'all is, before we start blasting people, disrespecting people, telling people, no, you're this and you're that, before we start doing that, we have to make sure that they are aware what they're doing is wrong. Because if we don't first do that, then all we're doing is just getting our rocks off, cursing people out all day. We're not actually rebuking, because these people are looking at us like, oh, he's just calling me a faggot, like any other homophobic person, whatever. You know how that is. Well, I don't know how it is, but y'all know what I'm saying. Like they just look at us like another person that is doing what everybody else that hates them does. So just to kind of give the understanding of what I'm saying, or to tie it in no way, shape, or form am I okay with promiscuity and LGBT and all that. It's still evil, but at this point in history, we have to first let them know that it's wrong before we start blasting them. Because if we just say, hey, it's disgusting, so I'm gonna blast it, then we're acting on our own volition. We're not doing what the Most High said to do. We have to make them understand that your way of life does not make sense to God. We have to let them know, no, you're in error doing this. This is wrong, and this is why. Here are the scriptures. If you believe in the Bible, then you got to know that this is wrong. Then, if you see him a year later, if we're here another year, and he's still a sodomite, then blast him. Nigga, now you know. Now you know, and you've had time, whether it's 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, to understand that this is wrong. So you don't have the excuse of saying, I didn't know no better. Now, you don't have the excuse of saying, I can't just go from being one way 1 minute to the other way the next minute. Now you don't have no excuses. Now you have to ante up as far as your morality, because now you know what's right and wrong. And if we approach it like that, we let them know, listen, we come as informers to start with. We're there to inform you that what you're doing is wrong. First, before you can call anybody a name or say, oh, you're a whore, you slept with all these guys. First, make sure that this woman knows that that's wrong. Because you never know. She might have a damn mother like Kelly Bundy, even though she's fictitious, who either encourages it. I remember, man, listen. I remember I had this girlfriend named Khalifa. Back in 1998. And her mother pretty much knew he was fucking. She was okay with it. And her mom kind of hinted that, listen, at the end of the day, whatever. Like, no. And I wasn't used to that. I was used to parents protecting their daughters' chastities. Making sure their daughter's home by a certain time. Making sure, just being more vigilant to stop their daughter from having sex at a young age. And then it grew to, fuck it, they're going to do it anyway. Why try? You know what I'm saying? And that's where society started falling off. Like, once we stopped caring about these things, that's when the beginning of the end comes, as far as our people, our children, our daughters turning into pretty much the same thing as the other nations. So ultimately the message is, we're here to rebuke, we're here to tell people what's right from wrong, but again, you have to make sure that these people know what's right from wrong. Because society tells them everything that they do is correct. Society says, oh, you can be that way, you can do that. That's normal for you to feel that way about men. It's normal for you to allow all these men to do it to you. You want to have a train? F it, go ahead. Then we have rappers, because just because I love hip hop doesn't mean that I'm a fool when it comes down to this shit. Like, rappers influence, all this rap music talking about these thotties and hoes and all that. You know what I'm saying? It influences women. And then now women, instead of arguing with you when you call them a bitch, now they'll be like, oh, I'm a damn good one too. That became a good comeback to being called a bitch. That became an acceptable comeback to being called a bitch. Oh, I'm a damn good one. That's not a good comeback. You're still insulting yourself. Just like the word bad bitch. Only among fucked up people can you mix two bad words, two pejoratives, and come up with a compliment. So, it's like the way society has degraded itself. I see married women taking shots at their husbands. Married women whose husbands put them in a situation where they don't have to work, complain about the fact that they don't have to work. Ungrateful ass hoes, man. I'm sorry. For a man to even marry a chick like in particular, I have a female in mind, right? When she was single, I saw her half-naked body all over social media. When she gets a husband, she's toned it down, which is good, but I'm sorry, if my woman's half-naked body, I saw a damn picture with her and Arsenal, the rapper, and she was in a see-through dress that the only parts that were actually covered up were the bra and panties. So I literally saw this chick naked, almost literally. And then later on, she wound up getting married, and now, even though her husband has been pretty much, from what it seems like, because I'm not in these people's lives like that, but it seems like the husband has been doing not only what he's supposed to do, but more than that, because I don't even know if her other kids are actually his. This guy's taking care of business. To get a woman that is so ungrateful, man. An ungrateful ass bitch. I'm sorry. She's an ungrateful, even in her world. Because remember, this video is about first, making sure these people know that they're wrong. Even in her world, she's got to know that this is wrong. Well, it's like, this is the world, this is society, this is what social media has deemed as the right thing to do. People listening to social media, going on Facebook, and people have been raised by the beast. And it's just we have to realize that our people are that lost. When you're cursing out a woman for dressing like a thot in public, what you're really doing is you're cursing out a lost woman. You're not cursing out a monster. You're cursing out a woman who's lost her damn self. And rather than telling her sister, this is the way to go, you're supposed to be this way, you're supposed to do this. And here's the standard, here's the scriptures, here's the information. This is what can happen to you if you don't take heed. Then if they continue with their bullshit, then you blast them. If they get rebellious, they get disrespectful, then you blast them. But don't just go out there with the mentality of, I'm just going to curse all my people out. Because again, society is what's telling them these things are correct to do. You can't defeat society by disrespecting people that are simply doing what they thought was the right thing. I don't get mad when somebody just doesn't know no better. There are really ignorant people out here. People that really think that the ways of this world are acceptable because everybody does it. Think about it this way. Because we curse out people because they do things that everybody does. Not realizing that, come on. You can't really, why do a lot of Israelites do a lot of things? Because all the Israelites do. Right? Why do we abstain from eating pork? Other than the fact that it's in the scriptures. But why do we fashion our garments the way we do? Right? Why do we speak the way we do? Brothers that have never been to One West will tell a brother, you going off. Why? Because that's Israelite vernacular. We grew up doing this stuff. I've never been to One West, and I speak perfect One West vernacular. that brother's going off. Like when we say on a high level, like what the fuck is a high level? You know what I'm saying? We say that because that's just things that come with the Israelite culture. You know, these phrases and these things come from being around Israelites, so that culture from One West goes to brothers that are in fucking Alaska, Oklahoma, wherever. These are not phrases that are in the Bible, but we use them because they have been handed down as part of our culture, and there's nothing wrong with it. But I'm just pointing out how the same way we have ways and we have things about us that we can't really explain how it comes, how it came to us, because we weren't there when it started. Same thing with these people out here sinning and doing bad things. Saying like the world, even the sodomites that know that, or that are being told that they're wrong, they're being told that they're wrong because they're weird. They're not being told, no, you're doing something that's wrong because that's not how God created your body to do. There's nobody explaining to them that these feelings are some type of weird lust, some type of lust that they're being confused. Their spirit is being confused as to the difference between wanting a man and wanting a woman. They need somebody like us that are spiritually mature to tell them. And once they know, then they're held accountable for it. But until they're held accountable, we got to remember and we got to assume that everybody that steps to a camp for the first time in their life does not know any of that. So I hope that the message is understood and not misunderstood into saying don't rebuke people harshly or none of that. No, the scriptures still say you got to rebuke, but when you rebuke people, you have to rebuke people once you've given them the understanding of what is right and wrong. Otherwise, you're just another person telling a sodomite, oh yeah, you're weird, you're a faggot, you're a whore. Like they have to know that their ways are wrong before you hold them accountable for it. But with that, I'm gonna say shalom.